161st Street, Yankee Stadium.
Swung on, hit in the air, to deep center, gets back, away back, she is gone!
All right, welcome back to the Boys of 161st Street, episode 131. Yankees get swept by the Red Sox at Yankee Stadium for the first time in 10 years. If the season ended today, the Yankees would not be in the playoffs. They would be the 8th seed, which would not make the playoffs in the regular season format because we're going back to regular playoff format, not that bullshit 60-game format that we did before. So it's not good times in Yankee land right now. My name's Luke. As always, I'm joined by Chandler, and Damon Murph is again on PTO.
Yeah, I'll talk to him about that one.
We gotta have a little bit of a chat with our pal Murphy.
I mean, it's time to start thinking about, demoting him.
I mean, yeah.
We're going to have to give him the treatment I got when I first got here and put him in the little box in the bottom.
I think we have to. It's only right.
At least for an episode.
At least for one episode.
For one episode. We'll call that the penalty box. We called that something else for you. What was it?
I don't know.
I
think you tried to give it a positive spin for me because I was still new, and you were like, "Yeah, no, it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
This is the producer box."
Well, you made it. So today's episode is we did ask for voicemails, and you guys all absolutely killed it with the voicemail. Sent us so many so that I feel bad that we couldn't put them all in the episode, but we physically don't have the time to do all that. So we're gonna do as many as we can for episodes in the future, since you guys loved hitting that voicemail line. We are going to keep that line open from here on out, and whenever we get enough, we'll do a voicemail episode. So the number to call for that is 914-469-2168. Make sure to hit that and tell us where you're from, your name, because some people didn't do that, so I'm forced to guess your name based on the way you sound, and I don't know if I'm going to get that right, but we're going to try. So before we get into it, how are we doing?
Watching some college baseball, which has been more exciting than Yankee game this week. Even though I went to 2 games this weekend, I would still have more fun watching the college baseball games. Except for
not saying much.
Yeah, except for when Glaber tied up the game last night. I was at the game, and that was electric. That was the first time in a while I felt like the stadium and the fans was alive, and then we just fucking blew it afterwards. So it was so exciting for about 3 minutes, and then just went downhill quickly after that. And now I'm watching the Forest Day, Alabama softball
Welcome
game.
in, by the way. We got a new fan here, but
Welcome in.
It's no, there's not much positive to take out of anything that they're putting on the field. It feels like if any team gets over 2 runs, we're gonna lose. And it's sad. I feel sadness when it's like the Taylor Swift putting the note out the window. That's how I feel every time I watch any kind of Yankee anything.
So we have a lot to talk about, and we're gonna get right into the voicemails, honestly, because you guys kind of hit it right on the head with what we were going to talk about anyway. So we're gonna let you guys talk first, and then anything else after that we'll round out whatever we had to talk about on our regular list. But first, we're gonna go to Chris from Long Island, and I thought this was a good way to open it up.
Guys, this is Chris from Long Island. It's been tough sledding for the Yanks. They're hot, they're cold, they're hot, they're cold. It's just, I don't know what to think. I don't know if Boone's the issue, Cashman's the issue, the guy's the issue. I just feel like, something's got to change. They rely too much on the long ball, and it's getting me a little pissed off. It's a very boom or bust that, the pitching, once they're 100% healthy and Sevy comes back and Kluber comes back, they got some pieces that can definitely compete in the playoffs. But will the offense actually show up? Who knows? And Cashman better pull the trigger at the deadline, because this is getting ridiculous that we got guys all over the place that are just so cold up the plate and don't know what they're doing sometimes. The bottom of the order's been okay, but you never know. With Judge is due for a cold spell at any point. Sanchez, who the heck knows with him? Torres, Urshela's been kind of consistent, and LeMahieu's not what he was for the past 2 years. I don't know, man. They got to get some help at the deadline, and sometimes watching this team, I want to drink and pull my hair out. But I hope you guys are doing good, and if you get this and it goes over, I appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Well, it did get over the air, Chris, and we do appreciate you making the call, as always. But, I mean, I think he hit everything on the nose. I think it was a good one to open it up with because he says he doesn't know if it's Boone or Cashman. You know, to me, and I know we're going to get into this conversation at some point when we start open this can of worms. We can't really close it because this happens seemingly every year with Boone as the manager, and everybody starts calling for his job at some point. Some people do it before the season starts. Some people do it around now when it starts rearing his ugly head and he starts making some questionable decisions like the pitch, the bullpen usage and other stuff. Pinch hitting is usually his bugaboo. He doesn't know what to do. He's very much a puppet, and he does the analytics stuff that they tell him to do. He said it. He doesn't know if it's Boone or Cashman. I don't think firing Boone would solve anything. I do think Boone sucks, and I don't think he's a good manager, but I think the problem runs way deeper than just firing Boone. Do you really think that firing Boone tonight, let's say he wasn't the manager when we start the Twins series tomorrow, do you think firing Boone's going to change anything with this abysmal offense? I don't even think people are saying at first maybe fire some other, like the hitting coach, Marcus Timms, and other people like that, and we're going to get into that later. There's another caller who said that too, but I don't think firing Boone is going to change a fucking thing today. I think overall, having a better manager is for sure going to change things. You see that right now with the Red Sox. We just played them. I mean, they get Alex Cora, and they're doing really well. They're well managed. But I do think that the problem runs deeper, and I think he did say too, is it Cashman? I don't know. I think I wasn't one of the big people in that camp saying that Cashman's the problem, Cashman needs to go, because he has had good moves. But at the end of the day, this problem is up in the front office. It's Hal Steinbrenner, who we've talked about all the time, not having deep pockets, doesn't want to actually fucking win. He cares about the balance sheet, not the fucking product on the field. And it shows. It shows right now, but we do have a high payroll. And you look at other teams like the Rays who have a low payroll and they're playing well. And I don't know. This team doesn't really have an identity. And I do think something needs to change, but I don't think firing Boone is going to do much today. What do you think?
I think it would make. I don't even know that. There's only so long you can get away with being a player's coach. Like, look at Joe Madden. That is the perfect example, and it's kind of what Boone took over with, like, I guess it was the 2018 Yankees. He just obviously the Cubs caught lightning in a bottle, but the player's coach is awesome when they were the baby bombers at the time. It's great. He comes in, he's the fun manager. People are like, yeah, okay, cool. But when you have a group of 23, 24, 25, up to like 27-year-old guys, that only works for so long. At some point, they stop respecting you. They start doing whatever the fuck they want. And honestly, we've all seen the cracks. And it's, I'm surprised that it's taken this long to rear its head, because we've been living and dying by this offense for ever really, but this group of players for 5 years now, and it's starting to catch up. I mean, they're getting older. They're not that young baby Bombers team anymore. We're at a bunch of guys who are in their prime, either squarely in the middle or the back of their prime, or, somewhere in that weird phase. And that's just isn't going to do it. Yesterday was all I needed to see for me to can Boone. Maybe it doesn't help tomorrow, but it helps in the long haul. You got Phil Nevin out there with an IV sticking out of his fucking arm.
Yeah.
He's a big bitch. Phil Nevin is a big motherfucker. And he's running out there after losing 22 pounds, IV in the arm, getting on the umpire while Boone sits there and smacks his fucking gun.
Yeah.
All I need to see, if you're Hal Steinbrenner, I have Boone on the phone, on the bullpen phone right there. Like, yeah, go to the bullpen and then keep going for 50 miles after it and don't come back.
But here's the thing with that, is that Hal Steinbrenner won't be the guy to say that because he is exactly what Hal Steinbrenner wants. He wants a pawn. He wants just somebody who can just carry out the orders that he wants and Cashman wants. And that's why I said the problem runs deeper than just Boone. Boone is literally the problem. They fired Girardi because he was outspoken and he knew what he wanted to do. And that's exactly what they didn't want in a manager. They wanted a guy who can just carry out the order. That's it. He's not doing anything or thinking for himself, and that's why they don't fire him. And that's why I don't foresee them actually doing something like that. They'll probably fire, like you were tweeting about with the hot Twitter fingers, like some random, probably Marcus Timms is going to be the guy that goes. But that doesn't change much, dude. I don't think today, to salvage the season, like I said, that's not firing a coach isn't really going to do fucking anything. Honestly, I think we're worse off. if we fire our coach, because then we're in fucking shambles.
We're already in shambles.
But
This
we don't
team
get better this season. It doesn't help us this season. I think that's why I think
here's
at
the
least they're
thing.
going to wait until next season or the end of this season to make that move. I think we're going to get even
this
worse.
is the last year on his contract,
which is hard
he's
to
not.
think.
I think he's not getting a new contract. There's no,
No,
You
absolutely
can't.
not.
You cannot
No
give him a
shot.
new contract. There's
no
no
shot
way.
on the new contract. But I think it sends a statement to the players, like, hey, oh fuck, there's consequences for our actions.
There's
like,
no way you can
Now,
justify.
Here's the thing. Firing Boone isn't going to fix anything. But I think the way this team's playing, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. The way this team's playing right now, like we're not a playoff team. Over the last year and a half, we're a 500 baseball team. That's not going to make the playoffs in the AL East. I'm sorry. Like that's how it is. And I mean, firing Boone isn't going to fuck anything up. You're still going to be a 500 baseball team with or without him. I think obviously the problems that need to be solved in the offseason are deeper than that. That goes to Cashman. That goes to Steinbrenner. That's an organizational wide thing that needs to change. I'm with you. But right now it sends a message, I think. Because I don't think this is a playoff team. I really don't. Not in this division. You're not going to make the playoffs playing the way you're playing. And they haven't shown any sort of fight at all this year.
Let's get to the next caller because he's talking about things like that too, so it works into the conversation. Next caller is, I don't know what his name is. It sounded like Hochsteiler. You guys try and figure out for yourself, but sorry for butchering that. But here you go.
Style. I was just calling and wanted to talk about Marcus Timms and all the reasons why he needs to go. And so, I hear me on Twitter a lot talking about it, but this team just, they got hitters that were good in 2018, 2019. They just all regressed. I mean, they're not making any adjustments to how they're getting pitched. So, they stare at more pitches down the middle. They got to be able to find a way to make adjustments, and I don't think they're capable of doing that. It's the all home run or nothing stuff, and, he's just not capable of helping them, be the hitters that they're supposed to be. And so he's got to go. That's the first step. You got to make that change, and then, Boone and fucking Cashman are next. So, it's just got to make some changes. Got to find some life in this team. Way too many people are too comfortable with their job and the crappy job that they're doing. This offense can't be that bad with the payroll and the money they're spending on those guys, the talent that they have. It's just not. There has to be something else. They got to make some moves, and the first one is to get rid of Timms.
So this goes to what you were saying, Chandler, and it was saying that these guys are. I hate to use that Booneism, but these guys are better than that. And I do think Marcus Timms is not going to have a job at the end of the year. And maybe he is that one that shot in like that gunshot in the air, the warning shot to everybody. Like somebody is going to take accountability for this. He's just gonna go down because I think the way it lines up, like we said, Boone has one more year on the contract. We'll be even deeper in shambles if we don't have a coach. I just think one person is going to go down for this, and it's probably going to be Marcus Timms because it's the most obvious person of blame because he's the hitting coach on the Yankees. So I think if there's one person that would go down, it'd probably be Marcus Timms. And if there's any move that's going to happen, I think Marcus Timms is one that's going to get fired because I really don't see Boone getting fired today. I just don't see them picking up his contract. But I agree with Hochsteiler, whatever his name is.
I mean, that's like, again, I don't even know if that's the problem, but it's the most in your face.
It's a problem.
But do we know that he is the direct problem?
Oh, that may not be it too.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like we don't know that, but I'm saying like firing your hitting coach because the team's not hitting is like the most obvious direct answer. Even if it's not the answer, it's the solution that everyone's looking for. It's like, how do we shut these Yankee fans up? Let's just fire the fucking hitting coach.
Somebody's got to take the fall. But I think that goes to the accountability thing. It's just if they're not performing that well, like if everybody below you in a regular job is not performing well, the manager's probably going to get fired because you look bad because you control all these people. So I think that's why, whether it's the right move or the wrong move, I think he's probably going to get canned. If anybody gets canned, it's going to be Marcus Timms.
But like,
Chandler, what do you think?
I just feel like.
Oh, go ahead, Damon.
No, I was just gonna say I feel like again, like Boone really doesn't have that many. Besides putting the lineup out there, like there's not many crazy decisions that need to be made throughout a game. I feel like Yankee fans can make the decisions.
The average ones right.
Yeah, so like that in itself is a big red flag, but I think the biggest red flag is just the lack of like spark and caring about the team. Like you talk about Phil Nevin, who's out there screaming his lungs out. Like whenever Boone's been ejected this year, I feel like he just does it because he has to.
It's so forced.
It's
when he gets
so
ejected,
forced.
dude.
He's just like he was just running around the field last night trying. Like he wasn't even yelling. He was just literally running around on the field trying to get ejected, but doesn't do anything. He's trying so hard.
The next caller is about the ejection thing, but with the Marcus Timms thing, what do you think, Chandler? Do you think could you see that being what happens?
I mean, I think that's the most, like you were saying. I think it was Damon that was saying, that's the shut the fans up. But like I said, what makes me curious is what it would take to fire Cashman, because I really and truly, I don't know why you defend him. Rella, I mean, I'm not criticizing you for it. I'd actually like to hear why you would defend him. Like, aside from a handful of good, like Luke Voigt, you see Luke Voigt, and that one, it sticks out because like, holy shit, we got Luke Voigt for
fucking
whoever.
Venmo or something. Yeah,
It was,
or Shello too.
it was a
know.
shit. It was a shit. Yeah, so you have those two, but think of all the other ones those are the under the radar moves that we do. I don't know, 60 of them a year. And when one of them pans out, obviously there's a magnifying glass on them, but there's so many big splashy moves that don't work out. And those are the ones that are going to carry you over the top. Because the teams that are winning aren't the ones that are making splashy moves after splashy moves, aside from the Padres. And I guess the Dodgers to an extent, but even the Dodgers are really, a lot of them are homegrown with Bellinger and Bueller and Kershaw and
Lux.
all that. But, they do the little moves, well, the big moves, but the little moves, adding one piece. And we can't do that. We can't he can't figure out the one piece to put you over the top. He can do all the little moves all day, but he cannot, for some reason, find the one thing. On top of that, the way he's constructing it with the little things, we have 9 of the same fucking guy, which I know plus or minus 2, but we have 9 of the same guy. It's clearly not working. They're clearly not willing to make a change. That's who I think this stems from. Because, yeah, you can bitch and moan about how Steinbrenner not, loosening the purse strings and going over the luxury tax. But, like, we have a $200 million payroll. Win a fucking baseball game. You have $200 million. You can build a winning... $200 million, you have the best pitcher on the fucking planet outside of Jacob deGrom, who I don't even consider him on the planet because he's better than everyone who's ever pitched ever. So, figure it out. You have $200 million to work with. I guarantee you, if you give that same amount of money to another GM, they can put a winning product on the field with the fucking New York Yankees.
I feel like if we don't make a move that's glaringly just staring us in the face right now, like we all know what needs to happen. We all know where the holes are on the team. If we don't make any moves in the next couple weeks, then it's just more so reassuring what you just said, that it's a Cashman problem.
All hell will break loose if nothing happens in terms of Yankee land, and I know they don't really care that much about that, but they do also. Like, for example, if we were to miss the playoffs this year, all hell would fucking break loose. That's not a good look. That's not what the Yankees want. They want to stay within their means and not go over the luxury tax, but they had no intentions of missing the playoffs. And I think that may be a little bit of a delusional side of things. Like, maybe they're too close to the situation, so they think when they say our guys are too good to keep playing like this, I truly think they believe that. And I think that's the reason why they're not really making a move. And I think it takes eyes from the outside, like we're looking at, to notice, actually, they're not that good. They're not good enough to win, to right the ship, or whatever Booneism that Boone uses. And I think that's a fault of their own, because they're deep in the scouting and the analytics, and they see all this stuff, and they're just clouded their judgment based on seeing all this stuff with these guys. And, I think maybe that's why there's not going to be a move, is because they truly are delusional about it. They really think there's not a problem, and they're just going to go back to being the team that they were before. And I don't see that with this team. I think this team isn't that good. But the reason why,
like, they see the Rays doing it and they're like, oh, we're the class of the East. If the Rays can do it, we can do it. No, you fucking can't. We've been trying it. You clearly cannot do it. You cannot be the Rays.
Well, they don't have an identity. They try and be the Rays, and they aren't.
You can't be the Rays. Quit trying to be the fucking Rays. Be the fucking Yankees and win baseball games. That's how you win. That is how you win. We don't try and be the Padres. We don't have a Tatis. Don't try and be the Braves. We don't have an Acuna. be the fucking Yankees. Be who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny that they're trying to mimic a team that has I don't know how many championships when you're the Yankees who has so many. So I don't understand why they're trying to follow a different blueprint when you have one that has been working for a long time. And that blueprint for you, the Yankees, is break out that fucking purse and spend that damn money because you can do it. That's the whole point of you being the most wealthy team in the majors. And I don't understand. If we're going to stay under the luxury tax and just not, you get the advantage in baseball of not having a salary cap. You don't have a salary cap. And the reason why the Yankees have won 27 championships is because, yes, they've bought some of them. And why not do the thing that makes you do well and makes the fans enjoy watching you? Like, I don't know why they aren't, if all the teams to go over the luxury tax, we should be the one that's the first over the luxury tax. And I don't know, it doesn't have to happen every year, but in a situation where we might miss the playoffs right now with all these expectations coming into this season, you got to believe. I mean, if you don't go after a person, go over the luxury tax right now, what are you doing? What like right now?
Too.
You didn't want to go over the luxury tax because you didn't think you needed to. Now where are we? Now we either go over the luxury tax or you fucking
You are who you are.
or you just sell or you sell. Because then the window's closing. We're going to get into a call about that in a little bit, but we're going to get a weird spot right now that, you know, if we start like what we're almost getting so bad that if we continue to be this bad, if I'm them, I'm debating not even going after people at the deadline, not full blown selling, but like why waste prospects and
do it
and
like
miss
the Chapman offseason where we traded Chapman and Andrew Miller. That's
Yeah,
kind of
I'm
where
just
we're
saying,
at right now. But
why
with
in
different
particular would
star
you
power.
give up? Why would you give up guys like Medina and Gill and all these guys coming up when you could actually use them in the next window? Like we're getting into that conversation. I don't think we're quite there yet, but I'm saying
me of the Cubs. Honestly, we're the Cubs without a World Series because you know the Cubs hit that weird funk, like kind of where we are. And sorry that I kind of interrupted you, but you know the Cubs, it's the exact same thing. They just had the World Series to show for it. Our window is in that same weird spot where we have our young superstars that are kind of growing up. They're all hitting their contract years or expiring. And, you know, the window's not closed, but it's damn sure time to start thinking about it, especially when you're underperforming.
Yeah, I was just bringing up the fact that we were so guaranteeing ourselves that we were going to be buyers at the deadline, everything like that. I'm just planting the seed that potentially, and this is even a seed for me as a fan because I'm not thinking about this. I'm just assuming that they in the front office are thinking about it too. Like, hey, if we continue to lose, and we're in a damn good division, the AL East, everybody's winning baseball games except for the Orioles, and we aren't either. But like, I know they're thinking about, hey, we may come to the deadline and not do what we thought we were gonna do. We weren't gonna add that one Ketel Marte piece or something like that. We may actually. Like, why get rid of some of these really good prospects if
do you
we
really
can
think
use
that
them?
they would swallow their pride and do that though?
No, I think that's why I think it would never happen because if we miss the playoffs that's why I think the only solution here to salvage this year is to straight up go out there and not only get Ketel Marte. I was with it like, hey, if you don't want to go over the luxury tax, whatever. But if you are going to straight up be the worst team ever and you do have this money as a backup plan, now is the time more than ever that if you don't go over the luxury tax and you don't show that you actually care about winning, that's the thing too. If they go over the luxury tax now, they care about winning. If they don't care about winning. And that's why I think their hands are tied. You're going over the luxury tax. I think they have to fucking go out and get Ketel Marte and they got to go after multiple other people and bolster this team because we haven't even dealt with that many injuries. And I know we're getting Sevy back. I know Kluber should be back too, and Voit should be back too. But like, why not? You just need to. I don't even need to give more reasons why, but just for the sake of keeping face with the fans and showing that you actually give a shit. Because if you don't, and you miss the playoffs, and you didn't spend any money at the deadline, worse yet, you sold. I'm gonna give up on this front office. Like I truly believe they don't give a shit unless proven otherwise.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next voicemail from also not another name. If you're calling in to the voicemail line 914-469-2168, make sure to leave your name and where you're from so we can shout you out. But this guy, good call.
Boone was terrible today. I thought any man.
Oh, I locked my phone. From Tom's
I
River, New
thought Boone
Jersey.
was terrible today. I thought any manager in that situation for their ball club to ignore that strike three would have been thrown out. And I thought the part that made it even worse, 10th inning, Sessa, leading off the inning, lead off runner on second, big 3-2 pitch, doesn't get the call. Boone doesn't even get tossed. Timmons or whoever, the hitting coach or whoever gets tossed, and then Boone's out looking soft on the field. He should have been tossed. He's doing terrible. He needs to go out. He needs to tell GM they need another lefty in a lineup. They lead the league in double plays. This is terrible. They need to pick this team up today. Would have been a great day to fire up that team, and Boone didn't do it. And he had a chance. He needs to pick it up.
Take Damon.
Here's the thing. I think it goes back to what I was saying before about him trying to force being thrown out. And
It's like cheesy.
yeah, it's cheesy, but I also feel like that's not, at this point in time, it's not the right way to fire your team up. Like, what's that really going to do when you get thrown out of a game? Like, I personally don't know. Like, do major league players find that exhilarating, that they're going to go out there and try and support their manager? That I personally don't know.
It's just showing that you got their back, and that was an egregiously
hear
bad call. And
Judge's-
it's worse yet that the two other coaches that weren't you as the head coach got ejected.
That's the
That's
worst
bad
look.
look. And
That's
that-
the worst look.
Dead.
You know what that
One of
is?
the coaches is half dead out there with an IV hanging out of his fucking arm.
Exactly, but you know what probably forced his hand to do that is because he knew that Boone wasn't going to, and I think that
Yeah,
may
'cause
be a
Boone's a
deeper issue. That may be a deeper issue. That may be the locker room and the coaching staff being like, "Yo, this guy's a pussy. He's not going to go out there, so I guess I have to while I'm half dead."
Dude, did you hear Judge's post-game presser? He was like, "Yeah, we love when guys go out there and fight for us. That shows they care to win." It sounded like
Stain.
maybe I'm reading into it. Sounded like a little jab at Boone for being such a soft ass bitch.
It could be.
Yeah, it
I
could
think-
be.
Go
I
out
think it
there
is.
and show some fucking life. What happened to Savages in the box, Boone?
I
Now
was
I'm
just
pissed.
about to say that.
What the fuck happened?
I was just
You
about
were
to say.
the coolest manager in baseball. Everybody was all over it. You sparked an entire team for an entire year. Where the fuck did that Aaron Boone go? They made shirts after you. They made fucking banners and flags and everything in the fucking world. After you were the manager of the future. You were the players coach that also was feisty and could fire your team up. Why is the only thing you can do now smack your fucking gum and sit in the dugout? Why? What the fuck happened?
And this was more
Sorry.
egregious than the Savages in the box. What led him to do that? I don't even remember what happened with that. But
That was the Brett Gardner banging shit, I think.
It was balls
him
and
getting
strikes.
ejected
It was
from
balls
that.
and strikes.
Yeah, but this one was bases loaded, Odor up,
Yeah.
and it would have been bases loaded had he got this call, which is a walk, and then you have bases loaded, and I get the people that are saying, this isn't the reason we lost, because you have to preface it with that because we are playing bad baseball. But in this instance, in this one game, it is totally possibly the reason we lost, because the situation after that would be, and I know we're playing bad baseball, but the ripple effects after that, it's 2 outs, and the way we've been playing, I don't think we're going to get that hit through there, but we sure as fuck have a chance, and you can't just, it's not 0% chance. So
Yeah.
you get bases loaded there, and Clint Frazier's up next, and then after that, I think it was Andujar, neither of which, actually both of which have been streaky of late, so you never know what's going to happen is my point, and that totally changes the fucking outcome of the game. That changes the outcome of the game, and I think at the time, what was the score at that time?
That would have been.
That was
We
tie
would have
game.
been. We were down by 1.
It was a close
No,
game at that time. It
we were
wasn't,
down by
it
one.
wasn't blown open yet.
Odor?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were tied.
Yeah, it was a tie game. It would have been
Yeah.
and then one swing could blow it open, and then that
A
momentum
pass
shifts
ball.
completely. Huh?
A pass ball wins it. Like a pass ball
true.
wins the game there.
But I feel like the difference is, which is the big problem, is that the Savages in the box when that happened. One, I feel like he actually meant that. Like he ran out there as soon as that happened, and he was just yelling, and that I felt like he felt every little bit of that. When he came out the other day, or yesterday it was, dude, he just walked out there and just kind of strolled out there and just had no emotion. If that in that situation and you're the manager and that bad of a call, you need to be fucking sprinting out there. And that's, again, goes back to the whole thing where I feel like it was just, he felt like he had to do it didn't care enough to have that spark to go out there and run out there and yell at people. He just felt like he had to do it. It was part of the job. I had to go out there and just fucking say something. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
That to me, even in hindsight now, felt a little cheesy.
It did.
Like even and people were making fun of us too from the outside looking in. Like our friends who are Red Sox fans were like, "Oh my God, Savage is in the box." Like, yeah, it was cool. It was a call and cry, and it was the thing of the season. But even that felt forced, like we were saying before. And I don't think you said he genuinely meant it. Maybe he did, but it still feels a little bit cheesy.
I feel like he meant it because of the intensity that he said it with.
But like this one here, this instance wouldn't have been a forced anything. It was the opposite. Your hand is forced. Like, this is the perfect situation. If you actually gave a shit about this team, you would have absolutely gone out there. And clearly, Phil Nevin does care about this team because, like you said, he's got an IV hanging out of his inner arm, and it just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And everybody in the world sees it. And everybody, I saw a clip from Section 10, the Carabas's Boston the Red Sox podcast, and they were like laughing about it. It's like, dude, that was a horrible call, and Boone didn't get ejected. The other guy got ejected. Everybody's talking about it. It's just so obvious, and I still don't think they're going to fire him because of it right away. I just don't.
They're not going to fire him because he's their bitch. Like,
that's exactly it. And
nobody else, Girardi wouldn't take that shit. If somebody told Girardi to play, and that's why they did fire him. Exactly. He took a team that was a rebuilding team to the brink of the World Series if the Astros didn't fucking cheat, which is neither here nor there. This isn't a shit on the Astros, even though I fucking hate them.
It's here and there.
Girardi fucking, his whole thing was he was not a player's coach, but he used his fucking head. He wasn't a puppet, which is why he got fired. And that's why they're not going to fire Boone. It's because he doesn't play that, or he does play their game.
I miss Girardi.
One
last thing. I never thought I would say that.
One last thing about Boone.
It's from my town.
I forget what coach this was. I want to say Diamondbacks. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it was.
Was the yelling at the players in the dugout?
That was a Chandler quote tweeted. So I would pay Boone. I would literally pay Boone to care this much about winning.
Like that to me, it says everything.
Yeah. So that's a coach who cares. And he wasn't even doing it for the publicity. He was in his own dugout doing that shit, screaming at his players.
Who are in last place and have zero chance making the playoffs.
That says everything. I want that. Can we pluck that guy off the team? Because here's the thing too.
Just pick up him here and move him over there.
Because here's my thing with it too. To the people who want Boone fired today, the options that people are saying are promote Marcus Timms, which I guess fine. Like he shows that he gives a fuck about this team, so he'd be a player's coach. I don't know the ins and outs of his decisions, and I don't know. I mean, there's been some bad decisions with this whole team, so I believe he's got a hand to play in the shitty decisions that Boone's been making. So I don't know if he's gonna be that much better. He will fight for the team, so that's one thing there. A lot of people are talking about Buck Showalter coming in. I don't know if that's a possibility even remotely, but I mean, I just don't know.
I don't know either, but I just the bottom line is
the alternatives aren't great, is what I'm saying.
Well, here the alternatives are you're the fucking Yankees. That's the most attractive
right
job
now though.
I don't care.
Mid-season.
Look, the point is the bottom line of everything is that something needs to change. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Boone. It doesn't matter if it's Timms, whatever you want to fucking call him.
We don't even need to know his real name.
Cashman. It doesn't matter if it's the laundry guy, like I said. Whoever it is, something needs to happen. You can't run this shit out every single day and tell me that you want to win. That doesn't show shit from the organization. Hal Steinbrenner just has to be so out of touch. If you're sitting at home, like, there's no possible way it's every night. The fans are booing your own team out of the stadium, and Yankees fans are the most loyal fans in the world. Like, you have your own fans that are packing out a stadium every night, booing your own fucking team off the field. Wake up. Look at it. Yeah. Do something. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you need to buy new fucking batting practice baseballs. Change something. That's different. Change something.
Next caller comes to us. His name is Matthew from El Paso, Texas.
Guys, this is Matthew Escambon from El Paso, Texas. Long time listening to the pod, first time caller. Just want to say, wouldn't it be cool if we had like a junior? Because like San Diego Padres have Tatis, the Braves have Acuna, the fucking Blue Jays have whatever the fuck junior. But so to have a good player, we need a fucking junior. You know what I mean? Find whoever the fuck who wants to trade a junior player and let's bring him to the Yankees, man. Come on. Let's go.
Can we look up a list? I mean, this is the change we could potentially be looking for, Chandler. You said something needs to change, whether it is the laundry guy getting fired, you get a new pack of batting practice baseballs or something. Maybe we need a junior. Who are all the juniors in the league? Because Vladdy Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr. are all three in the MVP race right now. Maybe we do need a junior. Maybe Matthew from El Paso's got something brewing in his brain. I like the way he thinks.
Derek Jeter had a kid not long ago. I mean,
is he Derek Jeter Jr.?
I think it's a girl, but still.
That'd probably be better than what we got.
I think she's also like 2 years old, but she can't be much worse than what we're putting on the field right now. I don't care how old you are.
Is that a readily Googleable thing?
I'm
juniors
trying.
In the MLB. I feel like that's a tough thing. We'll get back to that one, but I like the idea.
I mean, on top of our head, we could name like 6 that could change a team.
Name one more
Prince
than the
Fielder's
3.
got a kid. Prince Fielder's, and I'm pretty sure it's a junior.
CC
Ken Griffey Jr.
Isn't CC's son a junior?
No, it's not junior. His is oh no, it is. It's Lil C. He's fucking nasty too.
Let's get him.
He's only
up
like
there.
17, but
yeah, let's get that rocking. Yeah, Dominguez.
Lil
might as
C,
well call
if
it
you
Dominguez.
listen to this show, fucking put in your resume to the Yankees or just have your dad pull.
Just wait for Mike Trout's kid to grow old enough, and then we'll get him.
Yeah,
he
there
just
we go.
had
Then
that
our
kid.
World Series.
Yeah, he'll be ready in 5 years.
2065.
No, but I like the way he's thinking. My next caller, I'm trying to find it. We got 2 from Puerto Rico, so I'm gonna find the one that I wanted. Cool. Here it is. Isaac from Puerto Rico.
How you doing? My name is Isaac. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I just saw the Instagram post, and it was, and I'm drunk right now, and and I was like, damn, I'm gonna do it. So, how I will fix this team? I really hope by the time you see this, the Red Sox sweep them, because I think that's the only way there will be a real change on this team and a real change in philosophy. And I mean, at this moment, Cashman has to go. He has to go. He has built this team so bad. We have a bunch of DH guys, lots of power hitters, and everyone's just swinging for the fences. And, we don't have a balanced team. And the thing is that if there were like 1 or 2 hitters away, that would be great. But everyone's the same guy. Everyone's Aaron Judge, or trying to be him. I mean, and for God's sake, Aaron would have to go. God damn it! Every damn time I hear depressed, I am more depressed. That's all for me, guys, and I really enjoy you. And from the New York Yankees podcast, there's several. I really enjoy you the most. So keep up the good work, guys.
Thank you, Isaac. Shout out Isaac, the man. But he hit it on the fucking nose, dude. I mean, he hit everything. That's why that was a little bit of a longer one. So for future reference, when you guys call in, keep it 45 seconds to a minute But I did hear the Isaac one that tugged on the heartstrings a little bit with the end there. So we appreciate you, Isaac. Love that you're listening. Love the call. But he did say he wanted the Red Sox to sweep. I also did. I wanted the Yankees to win, but I also wanted them to get swept because if they got swept, maybe they need that. Because getting swept by the Tigers, embarrassing, but also getting swept by your division rivals, a team that you're going to compete against in a game that matters at home for the first time in 10 years. Like, you got to figure some shit out, and I think that is, this is the second sweep in 3 series that you get swept, and that's fucking just disgusting. But another thing that he said too is the thing that we've been preaching forever, and it's the homer or bust thing. Everybody's like Aaron Judge or trying to be, and it's just not going to work. And we said that, and maybe that's the reason why I said too about Cashman. Cashman built a faulty team, and we even said it like a while back. Remember that meme that we posted? I think somebody posted it, and it was like that guy sweating with the 2 buttons in front of him. It was like, get pitching help or more home runs. And that was when we got Encarnacion. That was last year. And he just continues to do that with more and more people, and it just doesn't make sense, which is why when we're talking about the free agent or the trade target episodes and all this stuff, we got a deep dive into everybody. When Murph and you guys all wanted Joey Gallo, it's like, dude, that is exactly more of the same that we don't need. And we need guys like Ketel Marte or Whit Merrifield and guys like this. And it just doesn't make sense to me that you would want to get more of that. So I think Isaac hit it completely on the head. And I think he said philosophy change. And that's exactly what we've been talking about too. You need a fucking philosophy change because this style of play is not working. And this isn't just a 2-month sample size that we've been looking at. Like, this has been the reason that we haven't made a World Series or haven't made it to the place we want to. And it's the reason we keep losing. So
I feel like before the Red Sox series, I feel like not everyone, but at least I did. I feel like a good amount of Yankee fans, we still had like that tiny glimpse of hope that we could potentially win with this team right now, and then maybe make one move and then get people healthy, et cetera, et cetera. But after getting swept by the Red Sox at home, we're like, we are not going to win the World Series, let alone make the playoffs with the team we have right now. So getting swept, I hope, is a wake up call to the front office saying, like, we need to do fucking something. Whatever Chandler was saying before, we need to do something. I think that's just like further reiterates that we need to actually do something.
I just don't even know that they care. Like, really and truly, that's my thing. That's what pisses me off the most. Because if you're just genuinely bad, like if we're the Cincinnati Reds, okay, that is what it is. But you're not the Reds. You're the fucking Yankees. Show me that you care. Like, go out there, make a trade, act like you care, show up to the game, do something. Like you were saying, Devin, anything in the fucking world. I don't know.
Let's go to our next caller.
That's what pisses me off the most is that you have the resources there and you don't do it. I legitimately don't think Hal Steinberg's ever watched a Yankee game.
Probably not. So this guy sounds like his name is Nick. He didn't give his name, so I'm going to call him Nick. So we're going to go to Nick from New York.
I just want to say, Cashman and everybody in management don't realize that the window is closing. All right, we had a solid 3 years, 2018, 2019, 2020, including this year, where we were prime for a World Series run. And now the window is closing. You got to look at our contract situation. We got Aaron Hicks, Mr. 200 batting average, can't stay on the field, below average center fielder, for what, 6 more years on that disgusting deal? Everybody knows the Stanton deal is disgusting. Mans is 31, can't stay in the field. Imagine 5-6 years from now. Like, and then Garrett Cole, we need to give him the big deal. But do you really think in 8 more years he's still going to be a really top of the line ace? No. And of course, we have to give Judge a contract. I mean, at this point, we got to give him the money. But all these bad contracts are adding up. We have no more room for some big free agent. The window is closing. If we can't turn this around right now, we got to trade for Marte because our outfield's a wreck besides the Judge. We got to make some splash moves right now because I say this year, maybe next year, we have on the window, and we're gonna have to go full rebuild mode, and not some half rebuild that we thought was happening in 2017, but turned out pretty good. I'm talking about full rebuild, and the window is closing.
All right, thanks, Nick. Yeah, I fully agree. We talked about that before too. The window's 100% closing, and we actually mentioned this before. And I kind of wanted to get into this conversation a little bit because he mentioned the extension that we have to give Judge, and we in prior episodes have talked about that. That's not necessarily a guarantee. I'm amending my take on that because the way he's playing right now and the way the rest of the team's playing right now, I think it's fairly obvious that he's the only person on this team that deserves a contract extension if we aren't blowing it completely up. So if we were going to give one person a contract extension, it has to be Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is leading the team. I don't know if everybody saw that tweet by Dan Rourke, but he leads the team in literally everything. I'm not even going to pull it up, but in games played, in everything, in every category, and it's obvious. He's the only one that's hitting the ball right now. So I think I wanted to talk about that a little bit, just because we did say we didn't want to give him the extension because of the health things. I still think we would give him a shorter deal, but I think the contract is inevitable. I think he's going to be a Yankee in my mind. If I was running the team, I'm giving him a contract because I know that was in question before.
I don't think we ever. I mean, at least I didn't. I never said that we shouldn't give him an extension. I think we all agreed it shouldn't be like the long term
yeah, of course,
deal or anything.
I never said that it should be. We shouldn't. I said he is. It's time and he plays another season like that. It's time to start thinking about, is he the guy?
Yeah.
And he's played well and he stayed on the field today. So, or not today, but this year. So,
yeah.
Something that's kind of made me think of that was Nick brought up.
Sounded like a Nick. Didn't he sound like a Nick?
I think he said Nick, but like
no, he didn't say anything. I just assumed
there's
he was
one
a
thing
Nick.
in common too that these World Series contenders do, and that's what made us World Series contenders in 2017. They bring up their top guys. We are so scared to bring up our top prospects, and I don't understand why. Like, those are your spark guys. Those are the ones that do it for you. We're so, like, I don't know, hell bent on bringing this same lineup up every day. And I know I'm not a proponent of bringing up Florial tomorrow or anything like that, but why, like, make a move like that? That's the stuff that World Series contenders do. You bring that young electric guy up. And I actually read something about it today that was like, the Yankees don't have an Acuna or a Tatis Jr. And it's like, even if they did, would they even allow it? I don't think they would, because the closest thing we had was Clint when we got him, and they made a huge public spectacle about him shaving his head.
Yeah, like, well, he also wasn't playing like
If we even had the electric guy, would he even be allowed to be a Yankee? That's the way the game's shifting towards. Adapt. Survive and adapt. That's what you got to do, and they're so fucking scared to do it. It drives me batshit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, can you imagine? Off topic, but sorry. Can you imagine if we were doing like the Padres are doing with like the chain if it ended in the game?
It seems like every other team is having fun. Do you see even the Red Sox in our own fucking house? They've been doing this all season with the shopping cart, whatever the fuck that thing is, but they're having a blast, dude. Kike Hernandez is bringing dude. They just have a fun time, and that's something we haven't had in a while.
If you put that shopping cart in our dugout, we placed 4 people on the IL the next day.
Yeah, we haven't had that since honestly Ronald Torreyes was on the team.
Since Didi
and Todd Frazier.
Didi, Todd Frazier.
Didi Gregorius was the tipping point, and I'm not saying that because I'm a Didi stan. He was that guy for us. He was the only one there he was the guy that had heart, and you can hear it. It's not even just me. I like to listen to R2C2. When Sabathia was talking about, Didi when he was on the team, he was like, he is our guy. Everybody's pissed off. We just got swept. We come home. Who's the guy that's in the clubhouse the next day with a drone, like flying around, like fucking hitting people in their locker and making people laugh? It's Didi. Who's the guy that busts out a fucking piano in the locker room and everybody's pissed off? It's Didi. We don't have anybody like that. Everybody's just stone-faced. We hit a home run to take the lead in the 8th. You have Judge like wave his arm in a circle. That's it. Everybody else is like, Stanton can't do anything or he'll be in a sling for 6 months. Like,
well, Chandler, you know what's funny? I was thinking about this yesterday when I was at the game.
Fuck.
Something you said like a while back on an episode about everyone playing selfish baseball.
Yep.
And I was thinking about that last night watching the game.
I've ever seen in any sport.
And I was thinking about, how you're playing MLB The Show and like you're down by 5. This is gonna make sense, I promise. You're down by 5, and then you hit like a 3-run home run that 1 inning. And the rest of the inning, you do nothing because you got the job.
That's
you got the job done.
That's my rule.
You got the job done. You got what you needed. Now the rest of the at-bats don't matter. You check out.
Completely check out, and that's all you get.
And that's what I feel like is happening to a lot of the players right now because they're playing selfish baseball.
We don't even get that though.
Yes, but what I'm saying,
like,
just
check out.
the
home run that you can boast about, though. That's what you.
What I'm saying is like a prime example of this. I feel like is like Clint Frazier and Gary Sanchez last night. I felt like they both got. Well, Gary had a big hit. He had 2 big hits. But I feel like
Gary has been good lately.
Yes, Gary's been good lately. I'm not gonna shit on him, but for instance, like Clint got a useless single in like the 7th inning or something, and at that point he was just like, my job's done for the day. I got my single. People can get off my back. Whatever.
Yeah, he's stuffing the stat sheet.
He's done. He's done
for the day. He wants his personal numbers.
He wants his personal numbers to go up. So I think Sanchez has done that for the whole season except for yesterday where He gets a hit, he gets a home run, I'm done for the day.
Sanchez isn't doing that by choice. Sanchez is doing that because he can't hit. And Clint too. Clint's playing like garbage, but I think Clint's doing it for the
But
wrong
his
reasons like
mindset is selfish numbers, and I got a hit, and now I'm done for the day. I don't need to do anything.
If that's it, but I see where you're coming from on that.
But
it's just the way the team is playing.
The outside looking in, that's what it feels like. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but from what I'm envisioning, that's what I feel like is happening.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. I don't think it's necessarily to that degree, but
right. I'm definitely over exaggerating.
No, it's all selfish baseball. It's and you saw it yesterday too. And I'm in the party that we should have won that game. I don't care that the umpire fucked up that call. That should have been an 8-0 game by that point. You had every opportunity in the world. The Red Sox tried to lose. They literally tried to lose that game. I think they signed a contract before the game. They did everything they could to lose that game, and we still fucked it away. That's what I'm saying. Like, what you have to play selfish baseball for that to happen. When you have bases loaded, nobody out, and you're swinging straight up and popping it up to the shortstop, that's fucking selfish. When you have a guy on third and one out, and you strike out, that's fucking selfish. All you have to do is put it in play. You're making $100 million. You can put a bat on a ball. If you really try to put a bat on a baseball, unless you're facing DeGrom or something, you know what? You take your runs when you can get them. When you're facing Eduardo Rodriguez and Nathan Eovaldi and
Nathan Eovaldi was shoving against us.
I don't want to hear dick about Nathan Eovaldi and Garrett Richardson.
No, I mean, anybody's going to shove against us. I'm just saying.
And then you have Garrett Richardson, who hasn't been good since 2015 out there, and he looks like a Cy Young candidate yesterday. It's the same thing every series, every week. We have these guys in situations to where we can take advantage, and we just don't. Because why take a 1-0 lead when you can take a 3-0 lead? Oh, we're gonna strike out. How's 0 sound? Like, just do your fucking job.
I'm gonna quote Mark Twain here. I think it is.
What?
But this is the way I am starting to become. It's the definition of insanity. Is something that happens over and over again. I'm butchering it and expecting different results.
No, you do something over and over again, expecting something different.
Accepting different results. Yeah. And that's exactly what I think the front office of the Yankees have. They keep saying the Booneism, that is, we're better than this, we'll turn the corner, all of the above. And I think that's the definition of insanity. Like Mark Twain, I think. Was it Mark Twain who said that?
I have no idea.
I am scholared, but
I know the quote. I don't know if that was Mark Twain.
I really don't think that's Mark Twain.
I hope it's Mark Twain because I
think
can't.
It was Einstein. He was definitely Einstein.
Yeah, fact check me on that. But I think that's how I feel with the front office. They are literally running the same thing out like we've been saying for the longest time, and they're just expecting different results.
Einstein, so
Einstein.
You can grab some bench next to Stanton.
I said Einstein. Just want to say that for the record.
Yeah, but you just said the only other person who's smart.
That's not true.
Let's go to the next caller from Somerville, New Jersey. I think his name.
It's gonna be Somerville, South Carolina.
Somerville, Ryan. Ryan from New Jersey.
Just fucking pathetic. This is Ryan from Jersey. It seems to me whether we're up 2 games in the series or down 2 games in the series, Aaron Boone could not give less of a shit about Game 3. We're going up against the Red Sox in division. These games matter, and the slew of pitchers that he used yesterday were Herman, Litke, Peralta, Chapman, and Sessa. Fucking Luis Sessa. Can we launch him into the sun? He's not good. He's never been good. He's useless. Aaron Boone just punts these games with these jackasses. He's showing no heart whatsoever. I don't know what to fucking do.
Thank you for the call, Ryan. You're talking to the right person.
Sessa, there's not a spot on the sun big enough for him. I don't want to put him in the sun. I want to bury him in the fucking sun. Fuck Luis Sessa. Fuck that guy. I don't even care.
God. That was a perfect voicemail.
That was the perfect call. He should have called you directly.
Because he should have. I will give you, Ryan. If you DM me, you can call me personally. I will sit there and talk shit about Luis Sessa for hours with you. I'll even Venmo you and get your drink, and we can both just get shit-faced and talk bad about Luis Sessa for an hour.
To be fair, and we've mentioned this before on the podcast, he is having
he is a
good
bum.
year.
Agreed.
He's having a decent year this year, but this has been one of the telltale signs and what we've been saying for the longest time as to why we think Boone should be fired, and it's the pitching misuse is one of the bigger things that he's just can't figure out. And again, I don't think it's him making these decisions, and I know it's not him making the decisions, but if it is, it's not. He doesn't know how to use pitchers, because you look back to the Tigers series, and we didn't use any of our big guys because we needed them against the Rays and against the Red Sox, and oh goody, how well that worked out, because it really panned out really well for us having our guys. And then honestly, I don't know the answer to this, but he mentioned Chapman in that mix. Did Chapman throw? I was on the train and I was listening to the game. Did Chapman throw for like one batter and then get swapped out by Sessa?
I didn't see.
No, he pitched the whole inning.
Okay.
He came in when we were down by 1.
Oh,
I just blinked and he was gone. But it goes back to using all of these guys. And yeah, I know we're getting people back. We'll get Darren O'Day back. We can't get him back soon enough. We need Darren O'Day fucking yesterday.
He's the spark we need.
He is the spark we need. He's the prince that was promised. He's the hero that we don't deserve. All those sayings. I mean, not all heroes wear capes, but Darren O'Day damn might when he comes back. Imagine Darren O'Day coming back off the IL and he runs out of the. I can picture it right now. Just imagine Darren O'Day. Just imagine Darren O'Day running out of the bullpen. He doesn't do the bullpen cart like Sean Doolittle does, but he just comes out and he starts flying with a cape fluttering in the wind. Darren O'Day, and while he's flying in the air, he throws a sidewind baseball and just lands perfectly behind home plate right in the strike zone, and that's what
we need.
That's why we signed him. That's what we signed. We signed Darren O'Day to do just that and to be the spark that we need. And I think things went to shit when Darren O'Day left us, and I am excited for him to come back. But on a more serious note, we're getting Britton back too. We're getting Sevy back. Kluber should be back soon. Reinforcements are on the way, so that's my little optimism.
None of those guys can hit the ball though.
None of those guys can hit, but
Exactly.
But that's why I'm saying, dude, fucking burst through that luxury tax. And if you don't, I think you don't care. And I'm going to reiterate that.
I think you either burst, like you said, burst through it, or be sellers. Don't sit with what you have. If you go through this season and you don't win something, what are you laughing at?
No, he was just saying that would have been a good time for this.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
And I missed
either way,
I whiffed on that one.
You did. You're very good at off the backboard. Not good at the other ones.
I didn't do that, Damon.
I thought it was good timing. I was laughing in my head.
You can reach over and press the button. It's right there.
I can't see that far.
Either way, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, you either burst through the luxury tax or you sell. If you don't, that just shows that you are so out of touch with anything about this team. Like,
we said it before,
if you leave it the way it is and you let this team finish with 85, 86 wins, that's on you. That you are a joke of an organization if you do that. If you can wake up and make a move, even if it's the wrong move, make a move. I don't
show
even
that
care.
you care. I think literally spending money
at this point, I don't care if it's the wrong move. That's what I'm saying.
Just
if you make a move and you trade for whoever and he doesn't pan out, whatever. I don't care. Show that you give a shit.
Yeah,
that's like signing Kluber and J-Mill early in the season. It showed that we needed pitching, and they went on and did something about it.
And the pitching's been great.
The pitching's been good.
Aside from the last week or so, but and I expect the pitching to bounce back when those guys come back, because the reinforcements that are on the way are primarily pitchers. So that worked out. So like you said, and we've been saying this all episode, is if we don't see a move, and I know we're talking deadline moves too. I think we can't wait that long.
We can't wait to deadline.
We cannot wait that long.
2 months away.
If we wait that long, we're not making the playoffs, because then we're in too deep of a hole to the point where we can't get out, because the other teams are going to continue winning. The Red Sox are going to continue winning. They're good. I mean, the teams we're June 7th right now. These teams are the teams they are, and we still got to deal with the Blue Jays too, let alone the Rays, who we can't fucking beat. And Blue Jays we can't beat either. And the Blue Jays are red hot with Vladdy Jr., who we should get a junior of our own. But it's just
if
the crowd also, quick little thing for the crowd that doesn't think that this is the team we are. It's statistically proven. Go listen to the Action Network episode that we had last week. The guy who fucking does this for a job can confirm that this is the team you are. This is when stuff starts to stabilize. Is the beginning of it's Memorial Day. So if you don't believe me, go listen to him. He does it for a living. That's all
you
I'm saying.
can't lie about math.
You cannot lie about math. As somebody
Numbers
who
don't
did a
lie.
very below average job in a math major, I can semi-confirm this.
And download the Action Network app to follow our picks. Chandler's greasy parlays have been hot. Did the last one hit, Chandler?
No, but I am 3-1 in my last 4.
Not bad. So check out the Action Network app. Link is going to be in the description of this podcast or the YouTube, wherever you're listening to it. Also, quick ad, if you want to check out the YouTube version of this podcast, full video version, streamed live on Bronx Pinstripe YouTube, go check that out, subscribe. But yeah, download the Action Network app. We're big gamblers, and we are decent at it. The point is, on the Action Network app, there are people that are good at gambling too, and they're readily available to be followed. But we're 161 Luke, 161 Murph, 161 Bing, and 161 Damon. Download the app.
Side note about the schedule, you're talking about this is a team we are going forward, everything like that. Our schedule's not getting easier. It's not like we're, like, oh, thank God we got through the tough part. We got the Orioles, the Tigers. I know I say the Tigers, even though they beat our ass in, but we're going against the Twins.
Who are worse than the Tigers right now.
The Twins are bad.
Fun
But then we
fact
got
about the Twins.
The Phillies, who aren't bad. Zach Wheeler might strike out all 27. He's in that category with Glass now. Then you got Toronto. Then you have the A's. Then you have the Royals, who aren't bad. Then you have Boston again. Then you have the Angels and the Mets and Seattle and the Astros. That's how you round out your thing before the All-Star game. All of these teams are over 500 with the exception of the Angels and I think the Phillies, but they're hovering around it.
I mean, just
this is a pretty good schedule you're playing. You better wake the fuck up or you're going to find yourself in a insurmountable hole.
Like, when you read that schedule to me, it honestly didn't even matter because we got swept by the Tigers. So everything else is just thrown to the wayside. We should lose, and we can lose. We've shown that we can lose any game. But one fun thing about the Twins series is guess who we're scheduled to go up against?
Happ and Pineda?
Yeah.
Happ's going to throw a perfect game against the Yankees.
I mean,
Just
how much?
That'd be so funny.
If Happ has a good start against the Yankees, and I hate Happ and I think he's a piece of shit, but I think you fire the entire.
We start over.
Yeah.
No, we're the New York Rail Riders at that point.
Yeah,
if
bring
Happ
them all
goes
up.
out there and he does that, you send everybody except for Judge down. You bring up the entire Rail Riders, and we go from there.
I'm down with it.
I could so see it happening too.
It's
going
too
7
perfect not to
shutout.
happen.
I'm telling you, dude. He's
It's
given
like
up 2
it's
hits,
too
a
perfect
single
not
to
to
Judge,
happen.
and a single to Gio. We have 4 base runners the whole game.
Let's go to the next caller. Where is it?
That was such a deep sigh.
Yeah, it was a big sigh. Let's go to Lauren from Austin, Texas.
Wrong with our team? The Astros. They cursed us, and ever since 2019, we haven't been right. Nothing will ever be right until we learn how to break this curse. But also, we need a new Cashman. We might need a new GM. We definitely need a new trainer. And we also need a team psychologist. And that's my 2 cents.
I am all in with everything that she said. I mean, everything.
Shout out, Lauren.
Shout out, Lauren. Good call. Thank you for the call. But shut the fuck up for a second.
Chandler, stop.
Just shut up. I am all for the team psychologist. Everybody on this team is a mental midget, and I think, except for Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is he just gets in his own fucking head and he gets in the zone. But I think team psychologist with how bad when she said team psychologist, all I thought about was Tony Soprano going to the shrink, and I just pictured every single Yankee just sitting in that shrink chair, as big as Tony Soprano, is just looking so out of place, like Giancarlo Stanton, just sitting there like, why do I always get hurt? How do I fix this? How do I fix my mental state? I think we actually could use it. I think they could use it. So, good call. Thank you for the call.
My little side note, I actually have a client that is named Lauren in Austin, Texas, that's been ghosting me for a week. So if that's you, please email
Lauren.
me back.
Email back Chandler then.
Yeah, if that's you, shoot me an email back because it's making me sad. So,
But honestly though, too, she mentioned the curse of the Astros in 2019. We literally, I don't think I've had fun watching this team since then. That's not true. I liked the playoffs last year, but this team hasn't looked the same since then.
Scored like 1 run a game.
regardless, like that Indians series was fun. Gio Grand
I
Slam.
forgot that was the playoffs. Honestly,
Yeah, no, that was fun. But yeah, since then, we haven't been right. I stand by that. Good call.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you, Lauren. Next call. We're gonna go to Tommy in Danbury, Connecticut.
Hi, boys. This is from Tommy, the diehard Yankees fan. Put this on the pod tomorrow.
We did.
What is your mindset? What are you feeling like going into this game tonight, Sunday Night Baseball? As a diehard fan, are you optimistic about our chances? Are you upset with the way that Aaron Boone is handling things? Are you upset with injury? Although we already know that injury has been a problem for us for the last couple of years. I'd like to hear you guys break down where we're at mindset-wise as a group of diehard fans and how we move forward with the team. We know the pitching is there, although Corey Kluber's still hurt. Voigt is hurt. We're really hurting in the middle infield right now. Urshela is doing really well. But the bats are not coming alive. How do we get behind this team? If we can't get through this Boston rivalry and we can't do something moving forward, how do you get through this? How do we get through this as fans? I'd love to hear it. Give me some more tomorrow.
Thank you for the call. What was it? Tommy the diehard fan. We're diehard fans too.
That was before the game yesterday?
That was before the game yesterday, so we did get swept.
Okay, so my feelings going into that game were not good. I'm not going to lie to you. We didn't have... So what originally pissed me off about yesterday, and I think this is a huge issue in its own, and it fucking all stems back to Boone and the management telling us that Stanton's going to be healthy. He's going to be out there every game. It's the Red Sox. It's a huge series. It is crucial in the division. You tell us Stanton's going to be out there every night, I expect Stanton to be out there every night. He was not there yesterday. Giancarlo Stanton, love him, hate him, boo him off the field, do what you want. He's one of the most prolific power bats in the league. I don't care. You can have stretches from him like we saw early in May. If he's on the bench in a must-need game, that shows me all I need to see for the game. You're already defeated mentally if you're playing to stay alive and not to win. I don't get it. I don't get the management. I didn't feel good about it. I love Domingo on the mound, but it feels like anytime we get in a 3, I felt worse about the Red Sox than I felt about any other team this year because they score runs. And we don't. It doesn't matter who their hitters are facing. They're going to score 4 or 5 runs. We can't score more than 3. We scored 5 in 10 innings. That's all you need to know.
I mean, we said it before, and I think we were just talking about it in our group chat too. I don't know if we mentioned this in the pod before too, but I mean, literally 3 runs just seems insurmountable. It just seems like the second, even in that last game when Verdugo hits the home run to start off the game, it's just like, oh, here we go again. And even 1 run seems like, oh my God.
Like so much.
It just seems like you're down by so much.
It's like if we start in the hole, I just, like you said about the mental midgets, whenever that 1 run happens, watch the Padres. When the Padres get down by a run, you would never know. When the Yankees get down by a run, nobody says a fucking word to each other.
Yeah.
It's dead silence in the dugout. You have 2 guys laughing that are both pitchers who have their fucking giant puffy jackets on in the middle of July or June. Those are the only 2 guys talking. And then the rest of the dugout is silent, just spitting seeds or dip or gum, like Aaron Boone, who's fucking about to chew through his own jaw. That's the only thing you see in the dugout. That's it.
You see the Cardinals game last night? They were down by 7, and they came back and tied it up. Like that will. I'm confident, which is terrible that I'm confident in this, but I'm confident that we will never see that. If we're down by 7 runs, we're throwing in Sessa for the rest of the game, and we're just gonna.
That's a part of it.
No. We're throwing in Nick Nelson. We're throwing in
Nick Nelson's that's the punting pitcher.
We're bringing him from Scranton, and he's coming to just give up 15 more.
So I don't watch the ins and outs of that particular game and how the other teams in the league handle being down by 7, but I sure as fuck know that we are punting all those times, and I don't know that everybody else. I mean, I feel like other baseball teams are also doing that to an extent, but I just don't. I know that we always do it, and it's just so irritating to watch. I don't turn the game off, but I want to turn the game off when that happens. It's just not even fun. When we start, we literally don't care about winning. It's like, okay, we'll get the next one.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, no, you won't. You won't. It's going to happen again, and then you're going to punt again with a different fucking pitcher. It's just win the game at hand. Like, this is the most just elementary way of thinking. Win the day in front of you. Don't think about the next series or the next day. If you can't prove that you can win games, you can't plan for the games ahead. You have to just win now. Win what's in front of you. Win today. It feels like every game from here on out should be played as if it's an elimination baseball game. Yeah. You should absolutely be just treating it as a wild card game for the rest of the 100 games that we have for the rest of this year. And we're entering the dog days of summer, too. We're entering the dog days of summer, and it seems like we've just hit our stride. This is exactly what you expect with the dog days of summer, and it's just not looking good. So they need to literally act, and it's not even it is on the players to act like it's a single elimination game, but it's on, my point from that is I want the management and Boone and everybody who's putting this lineup together to act like you're not trying to, because the way they've been constructing the lineup from every day that we've seen is just trying to keep people healthy for the playoffs. Newsflash. We might not make the playoffs if you continue to do this bullshit, like you said, with Giancarlo Stanton, who was promised to play the whole series. He was good to go for the whole series, and then he doesn't play in the last game on a day where we're going to get swept. So it makes no fucking sense. They truly, I just think what we need to see going forward is just show in more ways than one that you give a shit about winning baseball games, and it goes on a day-to-day basis with that, just putting out and not punting, and it goes on to a day-to-day basis, or not a day-to-day basis, it goes to making a move and spending some money when you know you need it, or just taking a look in the fucking mirror for the players and realizing that you need to fucking change something. But in terms of the call from Tommy, how do we, as fans, get through this and be optimistic?
You can't.
To be very honest, it's very hard right now, but the only thing I will say is there's a lot of games left. I'm going to watch them, just like I'm sure you are, Tommy. We all are. We're gonna struggle through it, and I mean, we do have reinforcements on the way. Britton's coming back. Kluber will come back. Voit will come back. I do think that the reason why I am a little bit optimistic and I haven't canceled the season whatsoever, because one, it's long, and two, I genuinely believe what we said before all throughout this podcast is I think that they know that if they miss the playoffs, all hell will break loose, and I think they're going to spend some money. I think it took this to spend money and go over the luxury tax because you just need to. I think they are going to not lose me as a fan, but they're going to lose people. Like people are going to be very much, they're going to have a sour taste in their mouth when it comes to this team because they're showing they don't give a fuck, and we've said it all podcast. But that's why I'm optimistic about this year, because I think we're going to get some reinforcements that aren't even on the team.
It's just, fuck me, man. You watch the teams like the 2016 team and stuff like that, where you've got Ellsbury out there and you've got Brennan Ryan, who hasn't played in 3 years. Stuff like that, you expect those teams to be bad, and it doesn't really, you don't care. If you play like this with that team, you're like, oh, shit, okay. We're like 2 games above 500. That's sweet. This is the team that was supposed to break through. This is a team that we were 1 game away from a World Series, and we were 1 move, and I put that in quotes, away, and you go out and get Garrett Cole, and then you have the 2020. You're like, okay, you can justify that by it being the weird season. You can do that. It's a real season. This is 162. We have fans. We've got hot dogs. We have beers. We have the whole 9 yards. You come out there and you put up a fucking show like this. That is concerning. That's concerning. That's why it's such a sour taste. It's because this is the team that was 1 move away for 2 years. This is a team that was 1 move away since the Astros series that they cheated. This is a team that would have won the World Series if the Astros didn't cheat. I'm saying that with quotes because obviously you never know, but that's what a lot of people claim. This is that exact same team minus a few pieces. You shuffle a few things around. There is zero fucking reason to come out here and play 500 baseball for almost an entire year now. Since the probably August of last year to now, we are a 500, if not below, baseball team. We were, I think I did the math the other day, and it was like we were like 60 and 57 or 63 and 60. Since then, we've lost like 5 of 7. So we are below 500 since the midway point last year. We are below 500 since the midway point last year.
Feels like it.
No, it's true. That is statistic.
I know it's
that
true,
is true.
but I can attest my feelings. I feel
And
that.
that's over a half a season of games. That puts you on pace to win like, I don't know, 80 games. That's not shocker. That's not a World Series team. That's why this is so disappointing. It's because it's not a funk. This is a flaw down to the core. Fucking fix it. I don't know.
What's your optimistic sentiment?
I don't have an optimistic thing.
You,
I guess
idiot.
I was supposed to be. No, I know. I was trying to
You're
be
the third person on
optimistic,
this
there, but I
podcast.
got upset.
I don't know. I feel like it is still. I don't want to say early on because I feel like we've been saying that for a while, but there is a lot of baseball left. It's concerning that we're in 4th place with 3 really good teams ahead of us. So that's not really optimistic, but the optimistic part is we do have pieces that are coming to help out, like are the pitching reinforcements who are going to be huge during later this season. And I think I'll be more optimistic when we bring someone else on to help us out with put the bat in the ball. Like I'm legitimately I'm optimistic that we can continue to play this. We can make it good enough to be a playoff team and maybe get there with the team we have right now. But if we don't make a move and get a different bat, then I'm not optimistic that we're going to make it far in the playoffs whatsoever. So
that's the thing too.
We
Not only
need
do we have to make it, but we got to fucking win.
Like I think we can make it. I think we can make it, but we're not going to go anywhere. And I think that we need Chandler.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done. It was lagging on mine.
You have been the worst.
You have been just interrupting everybody.
I'll just leave. I'm sorry.
I don't know what I was saying anymore. We need something else to make it further than playoffs because right now we're not that team that can get that far ahead. And I'll be more optimistic when that happens. But for right now, I'm just kind of gonna be enjoying the baseball games, and I'm still watching every game. I'm still rooting for the team. I think everyone still should be doing that. And we've known to just go on these hot streaks, cold streaks, then cold streaks, hot streaks. So hopefully we get another one of those. And because when that happens, it's fun to watch. We were in May, we won like 23 games or something like that. And that was a fun month of baseball to watch. So I don't know. I think we still have it, but we need that extra piece to kind of go over the top.
If we would to put that panic meter back at something, I forget what the levels were on it, but let's just call it 1 through 10. Chandler, how's your panic meter looking?
7.5.
I was gonna say 6.5. So it's pretty close.
I'll call it 7 then to be in between, but I'm right there. I think before we were at what, like the 3s, 4s, because it was early. We did it. We'll do this.
I was 5 because I still was talking. This is not new. Like this is something that I've been talking about since before the season started. That we haven't addressed the major like philosophical flaw with this team. We have the pieces to make a run to the postseason. We don't have the pieces to break through in the postseason. And you can check the tape. I've been saying that since October of last year. That re-signing DJ isn't enough. That's just going to put you in the exact same place that you are. And, that's that. That is who you are. You don't have the pieces to break through if you run it back every single year. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah, I think a 7 is fair. I think anything more than that would be a little bit too much of an overreaction. Anything more than like where we're at, all of us, like the 8s, 9s, like we're not in everybody panic territory yet. But I think 7, a perfect name for that would be like something needs to change, or else I'm gonna go into everybody panic mode because it's just not looking good. It's not looking good. And we did get to see an immaculate inning. That was fun. It's the small wins at this point. Like
You know what's funny?
It's the individual accolades. We're gonna
funny.
potentially get a Cy Young from Cole.
That was like the one inning I didn't watch that game. Like I was like,
Don't ever
I was
watch
like
another
making
inning
food or something.
So don't watch anymore.
And that was just ridiculous.
And
Yeah,
you
I'm
were at
not.
the
I'm not
game
going any more
yesterday.
games. I
You're
need
banned.
to.
Don't ever watch a game again. I'll give you the recap.
I need to take a little hiatus from going to games. I'm like 1-5 this year so far.
I don't think it's you. I think a lot of us are not doing too well in terms of going to the games, but yeah, that immaculate inning's pretty cool.
Yeah,
good for him. And honestly, that start too, more on Mike King. Aside from that one mistake, I forget who hit a homer off him, but
Devers.
Of course, Devers is good, dude.
That was a fucking missile.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Devers is very good. But aside from that one mistake, he was real good. So
I don't know.
King's gonna be he's been great this year, and I think that immaculate inning is just it doesn't really matter that much, but it's just cool. It's a very cool thing.
It sucks that our that our team can't hit because we turn in a lot of starts from guys like that or guys like Tyone, who like Tyone. I tweeted the other day, dude is out there, hasn't pitched in 2 years. He's trying to find a groove, trying to do something. He's stringing together some decent starts, and you can't pick him up. Like, what is? I mean, fuck, man. Or King, who's trying to break through in the league, and he gives up. He has one mistake in 6 innings, and it's over. It drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah,
these
and
guys don't deserve that.
That hurts the confidence too, because when you're a guy out there and you know you have a lead, you can go deeper into games. You're gonna pitch better, and it just score runs, please.
Much needed off day.
Very much needed off day. You said it yourself, Chandler. Remember when I used to get upset when there were off days? Today was a good recoup my thoughts, and I don't even play on the team, so
I don't even want to recoup my thoughts. I'm just tired of
that's what I
seeing
meant.
it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like I don't need a mental reset day. I needed a day where I don't, because I can't stop watching it. Every time I watch it, and I'm just sad. And they're down by 15 in the 9th, and I'm still watching it, and I'm just upset at myself and them. I can't stop. It's an addiction.
All the guys at 161st Street, I just have 2 words for you. See ya.